You're amazing.
Praise the Lord. We thank God for this privilege He has given us again to move forward in our School of Financial Empowerment, where we talk about money matters matter. We have started discussing on the wisdom principles, practical one, pragmatic one, on the journey to financial empowerment. We have discussed having excellent mind, and our discussion in the past few weeks is on the point number 2, where we are talking about working to learn than working to earn. So far, I've given us about 6 behaviors of a man that is working to learn than working to earn. Let's move on to number 7. But as a brief recap of number 6 that we talked about last week, we told us that money flow to us in direct proportion to 3 things. Number 1, the work we do. The work we do. The work you are doing must be of great benefit to people. When what you are doing is of great benefit to the people are ready to pay for it. People are ready to give you money. And so wherever you are, make sure that the work you are doing is of great benefit to the society. Number 2, money will flow to you in direct proportion to the fact that you are doing very well. How you do your work. How you do your work. Are you committed? Are you faithful to it? Whether you are employee or employer, you must really do your work in such a way that people see you as a committed person, as a faithful person. And then number 3, money will flow to you in direct proportion to the difficulties they find in replacing your service. So if you are working for somebody, make sure that you become an indispensable in that organization. And if you're a businessman, make sure that whatever service you are rendering is irreplaceable by your customer. So wherever they are, they will look for you. We talk much about that. But today, I want to talk about principle number 7, under work to learn and not to earn. And if you read the principle is, please embrace extra mile concept. Embrace extra mile concepts. And let me read from Matthew chapter 5, verse 41. It says, and whosoever shall compel thee to go a mile, go with him twice. That is Matthew chapter 5, verse 41. In other words, Jesus Christ promoted the concept of extra mile. And if you look at 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 1 to 5, we are not going to read that, but the story is very, very common to us. The story of Elisha and Elijah. When God was to take Elijah home by chariot of fire, he knew. And Elisha also knew what will happen. But he wanted what we call the double portion of Elijah. The other prophet, they also like it, but they were not ready to go extra mile. Extra mile. Elisha followed Elijah to the crossing of River Jordan. Some other sons of prophets have stayed in Gilgal. Some have stayed in Bethel. Some have stayed in Jericho. But none of them follow Elijah to cross River Jordan. And when Elijah was crossing River Jordan, Elisha watched him doing the miracle of parting River Jordan, and he quickly crossed with him. Elisha saw him being taken away by chariots of fire, and he cried, and he held on to his mantle. And that mantle was what he used to cross over. And you know why they were going? Because of the extra effort he has put into following Elijah. Elijah asked him, what actually is the matter, you Elisha? Why are you putting on this extra effort in following me? Let me go alone. No, sir. Okay, ask whatever you want. I say, I want double portion, your double portion. And you know you got it. And that's the type of mentality that a man who have extra concepts should do. So, wherever you are walking, Elisha has reason to yield to pressure, but he did not. But what is extra mile? What is extra mile concept? Extra mile concept is offering of a more and better service than the reward being received, and you are rendering it with positive attitude. Please take note of that. When we're talking about extra concepts under under work to learn and not necessarily working to hand, what we are saying is for you rendering a service. Number one, more. Number two, better than the money of the reward you are receiving at that point in time. And then number two, you are doing it with positive attitude. You're excited in doing it. You are not being forced to do it. It's not with negative, it's not with murmuring. You're excited. God said, I love a cheerful giver. So in your giving, if you want it to be acceptable, you must be very cheerful. So in the same way too, when you are rendering a service better and more than what you are being paid or rewarded, and you are doing so with positive attitude, with cheerfulness, without any complaint, definitely you are schooling under extra mile concept. So like I said, you know, Elisha was under pressure of the sons of prophets, making jest of him, but he did not yield to that. So he did not stay where others stayed. And you know, not yielding to the pressure made him to have outstanding exploits in life. And if you look at the miracles of Elisha, and like he asked for, the miracle he performed were twice that of Elijah. Go and study it very well. So his extra mile principle really helped him. And there are three things I want us to take note of when it comes to extra mile principle that help Elisha. Number one, he aspire. A man with extra mile concept will learn how to aspire. You must have a vision that you are aspiring for. So aspiration is very, very important. Number two, he perspire. He perspire. In his perspiration, he persevere. And if you want to say it, he was burning the candles. Sweat was coming out of his body because he was going on extra mile journey. And then number three, he never retire prematurely. A man with extra mile concept will never retire prematurely. He won't look at the challenges he's facing, either in his place of work or where he's working for somebody, because he has something in mind. He will keep on going extra mile. So you must aspire, you must perspire, and you must persevere in doing that, and you must not retire prematurely. If you are working to learn and you are not working to earn, and so you must go beyond the normal schedule in the dispensation or dispensing your time and labor. It's not a situation where you say they ask me to close by 5 o'clock, and when it is to 5 o'clock, you are really packing your baggages. You are about leaving. No. Go to your boss and say, excuse sir, it's 5 o'clock. Is there any other work we are going to do? If you say yes, then keep on. You are learning. He may want to test you. That is in the use of your time. Even getting to the office, your place of work, you don't need to come at the scheduled time for reception. Make sure you are there earlier. Do the necessary things. Even if you are cleaner to clean your office, do it yourself and see if reward will not come. In terms of dispensing your labor, go extra mile. Go beyond the normal schedule that is expected of you. And if you look at the scripture very well, I'm now speaking from the book of Ruth, chapter 2. You know, Ruth left a country, a nation, to follow Naomi. And when they got to Bethlehem, they have nothing to eat because they have left the place for long. She approached the mother-in-law and said, please allow me to go and be clean in the farm of whosoever I can find. But as God will have it, he went to the farm of Boaz. But if you look at verse 9 very well, when they were reporting Ruth to Boaz, it was said of her that they have been working since morning till evening, very diligent in what he was doing, a woman. And that caught the attention of Boaz. And Boaz said, well, for you people, for an industrious woman like this, which I've been hearing about, please don't touch her. Allow her to glean anywhere she like. But we know the end of the story, that at the end of the day, she became the wife of a very rich man. That is not alone. Do you know that through Ruth, we have the four fathers, the great fathers of our Lord Jesus Christ? Because eventually we have Obed. From Obed, we have David. And Jesus Christ is from the lineage of David. But David was in the lineage of Ruth and Boaz. So you can see what we are talking about. The last time I said, the harder you work, the luckier you become, and the more opportunity you are going to have. So you can see that principle in the life of Ruth. She worked independently with extra mile concepts, while gleaning in the farm of Boaz without knowing Boaz. And you can now see, because of her diligence and hardworking, the servants of Boaz saw her. And now, when Boaz now say, who is this? Who is this? They said, this is Ruth. And they had it. He had been working from morning till night. And Boaz said, such a woman is worthy to glean further in my farm. So, and eventually, you know what become of her. So, if you are talking of extra mile, now, those who labor extraordinary attract favor. when you labor extraordinarily, you are going to attract favor. It's a law. And so you must embrace that. And let me say this to you, and you must take note of it, that the most profitable time a man devotes to service is the one for which he receives no direct compensation. I repeat myself, in your life, that the most profitable time a man devotes to service, the most profitable one, is the one that you do not have immediate compensation for it. You know, sometimes you'll be complaining, when is the reward coming? No, keep on doing it with joy. Keep on doing it with joy. Ruth, keep on doing it with joy. Elisha, keep on doing it with joy. Putting water in the hands of Elijah. He didn't receive immediate reward for it, like Gehazi. But eventually, when the compensation came, it came in a very big way. And that is why I want to let us know that a man who is working extraordinarily without a direct compensation or immediate compensation will soon enjoy what we call compound interest compensation. It's no longer, you are no longer, now let me say it this way so that you understand that the extra that is there that you are doing is an investment. If you are working for 5 hours and you are receiving the salary for 5 hours, you are not making any investments. But if they ask you to work for 5 hours and you have a job on your desk that can keep you for 6-7 hours, and at the end of the day, your employer pay you for 5 hours, the 2 hours extra that you have done is an investment. And over a period of time, you are going to be rewarded. Now, let me say this. The employers may not reward you at that point in time, but there is a law in nature that you are going to be rewarded. But you know, the problem that some of us we are having is that we want to work now and receive the reward. We want to work less than what we are being paid. And that is the problem that, for example, the internet is offering many of us. We don't want to work for the money we have. You give your money to somebody else to do one or two things for you, and you sit down at home in the comfort of your room, and then you are just earning money. And at the end of the day, you put more, then the boss came and you are crying. You have not really invested your time and labor. It gets to a time, if you are going to do that, what you should use your money to do is quite different. The investment will come about that. So please go extra mile wherever you go. In the course of my personal development, several years ago, I took time to read a number of biography and study the life of some individual, and I came across these words and I wrote them down. But one of the lifestyle that motivated me on this issue of extra mile is a man called Charles Schwab. Charles Schwab was recruited by United States Steel Corporation as a day laborer. In other words, he received wages every day, and a service can be dispensed of at any point in time. But this, though he was a laborer, because then they paid, I've been in charge of paying salary to daily laborers in my former organization in the 70s. I know what it means. These are people we get today, and tomorrow we can say we don't need them again. So, but this man, Charles Schwab, was offering extraordinary service to his boss. Can I fetch you water? Can I come to wash your clothes? What do you want me to come and do in your house? Your car is dirty. And he was doing it to his boss. I'm closer. What else can I do for you? And so people love him so much in that organization, though he was a day laborer. But as a result of that, when other laborers are being laid off, it becomes difficult to lay him off. And he keep on doing his extra work to his oga until he got the attention of people at the top. Because, no way by which you work in extra mile concepts that doors is not going to open to you. So at the end of the day, to cut the story short, do you know that he finally become the managing director of United States Steel Corporation? Because while he was doing all those things, he was learning. And he was being endeared to the heart of people. And so, at a point in time, served several years, he was found to be the best person that can take over that company. That it was on a fat salary as the MD of that corporation. And definitely he would like to have some other shares and all the rest. That is it. Go and study him. Go and look for him. You get the story in more details. It's a pity that some of these books have given them out. You will read. Then there's this man that we call Ralph Emerson. I love his words so much. And I'm going to read what he said. He wrote an essay. It's called Law of Compensation. Law of Compensation. Look at what he said here. He said, if you are serving ungrateful master, serve him the more. If you are serving, because there are some master, they are really taskmaster. But it's now said, serve him the more. What will happen? According to him, the law of compensation, he said, the longer the payment is withheld, the better for you. I repeat, the longer the payment is withheld, the better for you. Why? You will soon receive the miracles of compound interest. As I'm talking to you, I have place where they are owing me several months or years of salary. Sincerely speaking. But even they say they want to pay me now, many, many years, I will say they should forget about it. Because I believe God has paid me. But I was putting my time, I was putting my labor beyond what they can do. Even when things were not going fine, they cannot say go out, go away from that. But at a point in time, I just felt that, well, let me now be on my feet. So please, I want you, and these are the words that helped me at that time. I have to make research. I have to go back to school. I'm a personal one and formal one. And so I met this man, Ralph Emerson. And once again, I will say what he said in his essay of law of compensation. He said, if you are serving ungrateful master, serving what? The more. The longer the payment is withheld, the better for you. Why? You will soon receive the miracle of compound interest. And that's what Jesus Christ was saying in Matthew chapter 5 verse 41. So what is he trying to say? Emerson is trying to say, that's my own word. I say in other words, extra mile schools you for better position and for better pay tomorrow, whether you like it or not. Extra mile will put you in the heart of your employer, and the employer will have no obligation than to pay you for the service he enjoy. You have already given to him. And that is why people who embark extra mile concept, they are the last to be discharged, even when there are crises in that company. Because the hope may still be there that this company will get over. And I've seen people, laborers, people who don't bother about their education, that transform an organization simply because of this extra mile concept. So please make sure you locate yourself in the heart of your employer through your extra mile concept. And may I say, this is what helped Jacob. If you read the story very well, the man said, I've learned by experience that God has blessed me with your coming to work. But listen, Jacob started without any salary. Because at a point, the man said, how much can I, what is your wages? Tell me. In other words, he was not earning wages before. But at the end of the day, you know what this man, he said more than 10 times, your father changed my wages. But God was with me. But he was not complaining. The first one, the second one, the third time. But at a point in time, God now told him, you need to prepare for your own house. It's time to go home. So if you can't imbibe extra mile concepts under working to learn and not working to earn, definitely a time will come when you are going to be paid. And I will end up with this statement, and I want you to take note of it, that a man who is smart enough to make himself indispensable is also smart to keep himself continuously employed. That is a man who has a wisdom to keep himself indispensable and make himself located in the hearts of his employer. If he's an employee, then he will keep himself employed continuously. There'll be no unemployment with a man who know how to operate under the auspices of extra mile concepts. So please let us take note of that. I've given us three examples: the example of Ruth, the example of Elisha, and the example of Joseph, of Jacob. They embrace the principle of extra mile, and today we know how they were compensated. So I want to encourage us that we should work to learn. We should put working to learn as priority more than working to earn. And one of the principles, one of the behaviors, one of the attitudes that you must put on, it's what Jesus Christ said in Matthew chapter 5, verse 41. If somebody says you should go for 1 mile, make sure you go for what? 2 miles. And Jesus Christ said it. And the reward will soon come. So when you are talking of extra mile in your place of work or wherever you are working, whether you are an employee or whether you are employers of labor, you have your own business, let this extra mile concepts and embrace this extra mile concepts. In other words, render a service, number one, that is more, number two, that is better than the reward that you are receiving. Know why many people cannot start their own company? It's because they don't know the principle of extra mile at all. And may I tell us from my own research, when I was doing my self-development program, I discovered that those who just work for mere 8 hours, they live an average life. They are not ready to move more than that. But if you see any chief executive today, they do more than 8 hours. And God has spoken to us either by nature or by what we do with this concept of extra mile. For example, you yourself as a person, as a father, as a mother, you not give birth to only one child. You give birth to 2, 3. That is extra mile. Why can't you just give back to one person and stop? But you see people 2, 3, 4. Even some people, a friend of mine told me that he's going to make football team. And I met him in a seminar I went to deliver in one of the university, and he told me he made it. So that's extra mile. So the word, that's why God said we should multiply, replenish through the principle of extra mile. Let's talk about nature. Tree will not produce itself alone. The fruit in a tree is an extra one. And that is why the life is continuous. So please let us learn this principle of extra mile in whatever you are doing. It's a principle Jesus Christ taught us. It's a principle that we have learned from some individuals, even contemporary ones, who have studied their life, and it paid them. I speak to your life that the grace to embrace this concept will fall upon you in the mighty name of Jesus. And may I say, wherever you have failed because of ignorance about this principle, the mercy of God will work for you. And as from today, you will no longer complain, and a breakthrough will come your way. The Lord that rewarded Joseph will reward you. The Lord that rewarded Jacob will reward you. The Lord that rewarded Ruth will also reward you. The Lord that rewarded Jacob in Laban's house will also reward you. But may I instruct you, go and embrace extra mile concept, whether you are an employee or you are running your own business, even with the work of God. May the Lord be with you. Thank you for staying tuned with us. Again, I am your friend, Reverend Isaac Ijaopo. God bless you.